Does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. If Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are two of the biggest names in boxing, and their potential matchup has been the subject of intense speculation and debate. The fight, if it happens, will be a clash of two incredibly talented fighters with contrasting strengths. While Canelo is known for his power and size, Crawford is recognized for his skills, speed, and adaptability. The question many are asking is, who would come out on top? Boxing analysts, legends, and fans alike have weighed in on how this fight could play out. Some believe Crawford's skills give him a legitimate chance at victory, while others argue that Canelo's size and power would be too much for Crawford to handle. The opinions are split, and the debate continues to generate excitement within the boxing community. Mike Tyson, a boxing legend, has made it clear that he disapproves of the potential matchup between Canelo and Crawford. Tyson points out that Crawford struggled against the size and awkwardness of his previous opponent, suggesting that a fight with Canelo at 168 pounds might be a bad idea for Crawford. Tyson believes that the physical difference in size between the two fighters would be a major factor in the outcome. He sees Crawford's recent fights against bigger, awkward opponents as a clear indication that Canelo could overpower him with his size and strength. Tyson emphasizes that the weight difference could be too much for Crawford to overcome, particularly given that he has fought most of his career at lighter weight classes. On the other hand, there are those who believe that Crawford's skill set could help him overcome the challenges posed by Canelo's size. David Benavidez, a top fighter in the super middleweight division, has an interesting take on the fight. He believes that Crawford's skills, mindset, and work ethic could give him a real shot at an upset. Benavidez is quick to point out that Crawford has proven himself to be an elite boxer, capable of outthinking and outworking his opponents. Benavidez acknowledges that Canelo is the bigger man, but he believes that Crawford's boxing IQ and ring awareness could be enough to level the playing field. Canelo's power is undoubtedly one of his greatest assets, and many analysts believe that Crawford would struggle to absorb Canelo's punches, particularly over the course of a 12-round fight. Shawn Porter, who has shared the ring with Crawford, acknowledges Crawford's toughness, but warns that taking punches from Canelo could be a different challenge altogether. Porter, who knows firsthand how physically strong Crawford is, suggests that Crawford's defensive abilities might not be enough to withstand Canelo's power. He believes that Canelo will start fast and look to break Crawford down early before the fight reaches the later rounds. Porter's assessment highlights a key aspect of the fight: Canelo's ability to hurt his opponents with his punches. While Crawford is a skilled defensive fighter, the question remains whether he can withstand the kind of power that Canelo possesses. Amir Khan, who fought Canelo in the past, also shares his concerns about Crawford moving up to 168 pounds to face Canelo. Khan knows all too well what it feels like to be hit by Canelo, and he warns Crawford against taking the fight. Khan believes that moving up to 168 pounds is simply too big of a jump for Crawford, and he fears that the fight could end badly for him. Khan's advice echoes the concerns of many who believe that Crawford is taking on too much by moving up in weight to face someone as formidable as Canelo. Caleb Plant, a former super middleweight champion, provides a more balanced perspective. He acknowledges that Crawford is a dangerous fighter with a unique boxing style and an impressive boxing IQ. However, Plant also admits that the weight difference is a factor that cannot be ignored. Plant points out that while Crawford is a very skilled fighter, Canelo's size and strength may prove to be too much for Crawford to handle. Plant believes that Crawford's boxing IQ and ability to adapt in the ring could make the fight more competitive than some expect. He emphasizes that Crawford is not an ordinary fighter, and that his skills could give him an edge, but he also acknowledges that Canelo is a top-level fighter with experience at higher weight classes. Teofimo Lopez, another young star in boxing, is not as optimistic about Crawford's chances in this fight. Lopez believes that Canelo's size and strength will be too overwhelming for Crawford. He predicts that Canelo will land a big shot at some point in the fight that will result in a knockout. Lopez's assessment is based on his belief that size and strength are the deciding factors in this fight, and he doesn't see Crawford having the physicality to deal with someone like Canelo. Ryan Garcia shares a similar opinion, believing that Canelo's size and strength will be too much for Crawford to overcome. Garcia respects Crawford's skills, but argues that the weight difference will play a major role in the outcome. He notes that Canelo is simply too big and strong for Crawford to handle, especially at 168 pounds. Garcia, like Lopez, emphasizes that weight classes exist for a reason, and he believes that Crawford may struggle to match Canelo's physicality in the ring. Former champion Caleb Plant also makes a compelling point about Crawford's adaptability and boxing IQ. He describes Crawford as a fighter who can fight from both orthodox and southpaw stances, with the ability to adjust his style based on the situation. Plant believes that Crawford's versatility and ability to fight at different ranges make him a dangerous opponent for anyone, including Canelo. However, he still acknowledges that the weight difference could be a significant hurdle for Crawford to overcome. Shocker Stevenson, one of the best young talents in boxing, is fully backing Crawford in this fight. Stevenson believes that skills are the most important factor in boxing, and he feels that Crawford has the skills to beat Canelo. Stevenson also dismisses the idea that Crawford is too small, pointing out that Crawford is actually bigger and stronger than people think. He believes that Crawford's physical conditioning and strength would allow him to compete with Canelo at 168 pounds, and he has no doubt that Crawford can win the fight. Other boxing figures, including Jeff Mayweather and Teddy Atlas, have also weighed in on the fight. Mayweather, who respects Crawford's skills, believes that Crawford's superior ring IQ could give him the edge over Canelo. However, Mayweather also acknowledges that Canelo is a great fighter and that Crawford would need to fight a perfect fight to win. Atlas, on the other hand, is more confident in Crawford's abilities. He believes that Crawford's skill set, combined with his intelligence and preparation, will be enough to secure a victory over Canelo. For Atlas, it's not about size, it's about the boxer's ability to adjust and outthink his opponent. Finally, trainer Stephen Bradman Edwards emphasizes that Crawford's superior mobility, reach, and stamina would be key factors in this fight. Edwards believes that Crawford's ability to move around the ring and adjust his strategy will give him an advantage over Canelo. He points out that Crawford is a master at making adjustments in the middle of a fight and that his conditioning is top-notch. Edwards believes that Crawford's ability to fight smart and adapt to his opponent's style will allow him to outbox Canelo. In conclusion, the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has sparked a great deal of excitement and debate among boxing fans and analysts. While many believe that Canelo's size and power will be too much for Crawford, others argue that Crawford's skills, intelligence, and adaptability could make him a dangerous opponent for the Mexican superstar. Ultimately, this fight will come down to which fighter can impose their style on the other. Will Canelo's power and size dominate, or will Crawford's skills and boxing IQ prove to be the difference? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain: this fight will be one for the ages.